It is a limited slate of games for Thursday, but that does not mean there aren't some wonderful betting opportunities coming up on this edition of the Power 5. I've got plays for both games of today's doubleheader between the Braves and Phillies, plus two-player props for Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Been running pretty hot as of late, 10-3 all sports run at WagerTalk.com, including a perfect 4-0 the last 4 days in the NBA playoffs. A reminder that as I'm breaking down today's 5 free plays, whenever you do agree, go ahead, smash that like button. I always appreciate the support here on the Power 5. Game 1 of the Braves and Phillies, 105 Eastern from Citizens Bank Park in Philly. I like the over 8.5 in this first game. Reason being, I'm not a big believer in A.J. Smith-Shawver, the starter here for Atlanta. He's coming off his worst outing in quite some time. Gave up 7 runs in just 3 innings against the Nationals. Smith-Shawver will be opposed by Christopher Sanchez this afternoon. Sanchez 0-3 with 4.32 ERA in 4 previous career starts against the Braves, so there should be some runs scored in the daytime. Later on for Game 2 of this Braves-Phillies doubleheader, which is scheduled to start 6:45 Eastern, I like the Braves on the money line at the plus price. Now, I understand Phillies are 10-1 their last 11 games coming into today, and they've got Zach Wheeler starting the second game. Wheeler has not allowed a run in his last 22 2/3 innings pitched. The Phillies are 5-0 his last 5 starts. But during that time, Wheeler has really benefited from facing some weak lineups. So as tempting as the price may be in this second game on Wheeler and the Phils, I actually think the value is with Chris Sale and the Braves. Sale's been every bit as good as Wheeler as of late. 1.90 ERA his last 7 starts. Remember, as well, this is key, Bryce Harper may be out of the Phillies lineup today. So give me the Braves in Game 2 of the doubleheader. We also like the over 8.5 in that first game. One more in MLB for today, 9:40 Eastern. I think the price on the Mariners looks a little cheap. M's are wrapping up a 3-game series at home against the Nationals. These teams have split the first 2 games. Interestingly, last night, Seattle lost 9-0 as a massive favorite, north of minus 200 on the money line. Mackenzie Gore starting for the Nationals. Odds makers obviously respect him, so much so the Nats are actually slight favorites on the first 5 innings line, but I still believe Seattle's the better team. They certainly have a much better bullpen. Emerson Hancock has had 2 bad starts this year for the M's. Those were against the Yankees and Tigers, though. Against everyone else, he's allowed 3 earned runs or less. Seattle, full game on the money line is how I'd play this one. Up next, let's do some player props for Game 5 of Knicks Pacers. On the morning wager, you heard Mark Zinno eloquently break down Jalen Brunson over 29.5 points. I obviously concur with that assessment. That's why we made it our show best bet. Regardless of whether or not Karl Anthony Towns plays, and I assume he will, expect Brunson to have a big Game 5. He's averaged 33.3 points per game in the series, shooting 48.3% from the field, averaging 9.5 points per game from the foul line, where he shoots 92.7% as well. So, big game for Brunson, I think, is in store tonight. On the other side for Indiana, another player prop to look at for Game 5, Tyrese Halliburton over 9.5 assists. He had 15 assists in his historic turnoverless Game 4 performance. He's averaging 11.5 assists per game in the series. Let's do a quick recap here of your Power 5 for Thursday. Game 1 of Braves-Phillies, I like over 8.5. Game 2, I like the Braves on the money line. Number 3, we like the Mariners at home, full game on the money line against the Nationals. And then in Game 5 of Pacers-Knicks, we like Jalen Brunson over 29.5 points, Tyrese Halliburton over 9.5 assists. I think those 2 player props will be pretty popular down in the comments section. Reminder to comment down below with what you're betting on Thursday. Always enjoy seeing that. Then you head on over to WT.buzz/BP, where, as I mentioned earlier, I am a perfect 4-0 the last 4 days in the NBA playoffs. 10-3 all sports run the last 5 days. I have a 4% best bet on tonight's Game 5 between the Pacers and Knicks. So in addition to those, even more so than those 2 player props, there's something I really like here in this game. You will want to check that out. And you'll want to check out the Power 5 tomorrow when I am back with another edition. A reminder to click subscribe. That way you're instantly notified when all of this great content drops on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. Until next time, let's cash some tickets.